Hello there, Editing Charlie here, just with a little bit of an advisory on this particular episode. This episode was meant to go up on Friday, but because my computer decided I wasn't allowed to edit it then, it's going up now, on Monday. If you follow me on Twitter, you know all about it. So yeah, there may be a few references in here to days of the week that won't make any sense, but just thought I'd let you know before we got kicking. Also, there's something I meant to put in the actual intro that happens about halfway through the episode, so stick around for that, at the very least, please. Back to original recording, Charlie. Now, bye! As football returns and Liverpool look to solidify their Premier League champion status ahead of Pep Guardiola's Manchester City, we face off against Pep Guardiola's Liverpool as York City. See you in a moment. So yeah, I pointed out last time that Pep Guardiola had moved to Liverpool. I think from Porto was where he was at. But yes, they've still got most of their great players. Apparently Casa is wanted by Barcelona and probably literally every other club in the world because he's bloody brilliant. Although he's not in their last 11, intriguingly. Not sure what's going on there. But since we last met, which was the Fenerbahce 1-0 win at home, quite narrow in the end, despite the play of the game, shall we say. Cardiff followed up in the league 2-0 against them. Simple, straightforward. Godoy with 2. Both in the first half, second half, coasting, really. We followed up with a 5-1 demolition of Notts County, a team that got promoted actually in the first year. And we met a couple of times along the way in League 2 and League 1. We actually have a negative record against them until now. Just because obviously it's been a while since we've actually played them. But 5 scorers on the score sheet. We did start with quite a lot of youth prospects as well, actually. Nesta Maluso, right back. Medina, of course, old hat now, but not first choice. Washington, one of those summer transfers, young players that we're hoping are going to develop into first team players in the long term. Kovalev, of course, now playing more games for York than he has for England. International break has happened. He's now played 3 games for us and 2 for England. It's still in our favour. Actually played Callum Lascelles. Figured if we just make sure we get him an appearance every year, he didn't go on loan, didn't go anywhere. Bit irritating. He did want to leave, didn't go anywhere. So as long as we've still got him, I figured if we're going to play, we might as well play him at some point and see if that triggers a testimonial, because he does deserve one. Southampton 3-0. Weirdly, the most efficient match of the entire year, although it wasn't actually a domination. The shots on target, I think, were actually exactly equal, but we scored 3 and they scored none. That's what matters. Cantoro with 2. He's done well of late, despite a sort of a slide towards the end of last season, which did worry us a little bit. He's picked up form of late, which is good for us, of course, and Carpentier getting another one. The new boy's doing all right. Although the old guard scored 3 against Shakhtar. This was way more dominant than the scoreline looks as well. They got a penalty. Probably should have been 4 or 5 for us. And then Leeds, we won. That's all that matters. Again, should have been more at the moment. But Cantoro with another one there. You can see he scored in 3 games in a row, I'm pretty certain. But today is, of course, about Liverpool and Bayer Leverkusen, the toughest of the 3 teams in our group. Life for Liverpool under Guardiola has not started remarkably well. They have trashed Everton, which is always helpful. They also trashed Arsenal and beat Leeds as well. They've drawn away at Norwich. We know how difficult that is. But then you look at the teams they've lost to, actually. Man United and Tottenham are 2 of them. Brighton and West Ham, the other 2. So 2 surprising, 2 less surprising. Norwich still have only beaten us. We've actually drawn them in the next round of the Carabao. I also thought I'd look ahead because I realised how difficult the December period was. I thought I'd look ahead to see what the end of the season was like. Yep, look who's last. Revenge. Revenge is going to be a long time coming. There you are, right at the bottom. But we are the Friday night fixture. The main news injury-wise is we've had a little bit of a crisis at the left-back, but thankfully everyone's been out at different times. Bradley Saxton might have actually been injured last episode, not sure. He's been out for a few weeks. And Kovalev has just taken one, so Saxton's just coming back as Kovalev's gone out. We've always had 2 there at all times. Of course, Schau could play over there, although not without his own issues recently. He was out for a reason. Can't remember if it was injury or not. I think it was a very brief injury, was it not? So yes, that's been a thing. Everyone else back now. Azarta's back, suspension-free. Injury-free now. Well, there's been a few little niggles around it, a few weak injuries all around the place, but yeah, fighting fit now, apart from Kovalev, of course, is sort of 3rd choice. Although, yeah, 3rd choice still. He's a-coming. And Carpentier, good news, he's actually on to Stars now. He is learning that role quite quickly. That's just reminded me. Let's get you a little bit of flexibility, shall we? Just in case. Because bear in mind, Pulisic, of course, is 32 at this point. Yeah, 32. Still physically quite good, but as Pulisic is phased out, we are probably going to need someone to play over there, and if Godoy can slip into that role in time, that will make things a little bit easier for me in the long run when trying to find someone actually to play there properly as a backup in the future. We won't need to panic quite so much. But the team for this will be our well, pretty much our first team. Vidarsson has come back from international way tired. They must have played basically 2 days ago or something. So the lineup will be Baxter, who is still first choice. I think Christian is improving, but Baxter's still first choice. Castillo, Courage, Azata and Xiaonan, Grimes and Seri, Carpentier, Vidal, Cantoro and Godoy front. I will actually remember to put faces on these new lads at some point. That's going to be a running thing, isn't it? I've just realised that. Yep. But apart from Castillo and Grimes, who, let's be honest, is basically the same as Vidarsson, and Castillo not far behind Saxton according to the ratings. A better complete wing back in terms of favourability, so not a lot in it. Saxton will be back next time out, probably. His first team otherwise, though. There's Liverpool's ridiculous team. Although they've started with Palacios, who is a lot better than I thought he was. I take that back, he's a much better player here than he has been elsewhere. Although they still have Alisson. I mean, yes, technically, oh god, for 38, even those physicals aren't atrocious. We know about the danger of the rest of that side, we've faced it plenty of times by now. So we start as ever in attack mode. I've just realised actually there's a very big disparity between the teams at the top and the teams chasing European football right now. Even at this early stage of the season, they have come forward. They have kicked it straight at Baxter, but he's given away a corner. Liverpool have started this game cautious. Alright, we'll be slightly less attacking then as a result, I think. We won't let a vicious counter-attack get us. This highlight has continued from that corner, and now we're coming forward. Godoy versus Trent. Trent's got it. End of highlight? Not quite. Carpentier again? Nope. I'm just wondering how long this highlight's going to bait me before it actually disappears. Or if it's actually going to turn into something again. Cantoro is through. Yep, he's through. He's missed. But Man United and Tottenham, the front runners once again, neither of them have lost yet. And of course we're playing earlier than either of those two, so the 3-point gap is actually a 6-point gap should they win again this weekend. Xiaonan though, we've got a bit of chasing to do because we are yet to play either of them. And if we get results against them later in the year, that could be crucial in terms of retaining our Premier League. Now, something I've not really mentioned yet is whilst it would be nice to retain the Premier League, it's not necessarily my number one goal. I just want to solidify that Champions League football. We're not league favourites in any way, shape or form. Oh dear. Yes, I have caught myself using that phrase quite a lot right now, and I just couldn't stop myself because I noticed they were doing something. There's Renato Blatt coming through in the 5th minute. Courage. Courage was under pressure, the text said there. Nope. No, he wasn't. He was about 40 yards away when he made that heavy touch. Right then, idiots. I think that's earned Courage some time on the bench in the future, although Godoy has equalised here, thankfully. And it is counting, so 19 minutes into the game, 1-1. Of course, that's a 3-point gap as a draw. If we win this one, it is a smaller gap of just 1 point. 4 if they win. Seri whips this one in, Cantoro, not quite there. Grimes, Carpentier. And there we have it, the 1-point gap, as previously advertised. But Arsenal are on 16 points, Man City on 15. Yeah, there's a bit of a gap here emerging. Of course, again, just to clarify, of course, Carpentier there, just taps that in. Yeah, of course, should any of these teams behind us win their games again, that gap just becomes smaller as well. McGee and Courage are almost like exact opposites in terms of the way I almost disregard them as all-round defenders, because McGee's not really a ball player. Godoy scored again, good lord. Can we just check on that net? Because that was vicious. What I was going to say is, McGee is not really a ball-playing central defender, he's just a central defender. It's very good from Godoy. Whereas Courage doesn't really have necessarily the technicals as a defender. Whereas that's all that McGee has, pretty much. And even then, it's 15-15. He can dribble a bit, and his passing's actually gone up a smidge to 10. But he's not really a ball player. Cantoro, Grimes, Vidal, Carpentier. Because I did covet McGee when he sort of came through originally. Because he was sort of young enough to maybe be poached in the first year when we got to promote to the Premier League. But they knew his potential clearly, and they priced him as such. I now realise why he was priced so highly. And I never got him. And that's how we ended up with Courage, really. But McGee was actually my first choice at that point because I was aware of him when he was at Southampton. Intriguingly, the last report on my squad said I should maybe be promoting Azata to vice-captain, which is where Courage currently is, which intrigued me quite a lot. Although Cantoro is over, Grimes is captain. We're in a weird position where we might be not dropping as such, but rotating out of captain and vice-captain this year from first-team football. Because Grimes has been usurped by Vidarsson, who has developed, and I didn't think he would, actually. I thought he was just going to be a very solid option to bring in. That's basically almost on the same level as those two. I wasn't really planning to upgrade that midfield. I thought we pretty much had that sorted. Apart from Grimes' lack of fun in big games, which hasn't really reared its head all that much. Just that once that I mentioned when it happened. Was it the FA Cup final last year? I think it was the FA Cup final last year, wasn't it? It was the one time that Grimes actually looked like he didn't enjoy big games. It's got to be said, actually, he didn't look like he enjoyed it too much in the World Cup either, at certain times, when I did play him. Which was most of the time, actually, because he's first choice for England still. 3-2. I know this is a little bit of a weird time to be talking shop as such, in terms of players in my squad, when it's a big game. Esposito, though. Gianluca is not Sebastiano, who I don't think actually in this save has become quite the world beater, as he has done in others, including my own Southampton save, which is no longer a thing. I mean, it still exists, but I'm just not playing it. Just in case you do follow my streams, I have started Toledo as a 4th tier Spanish journey up to the top of that particular country's leagues. I just because we had both saves to the top of the Premier League, it just got a bit samey for me. So we started Toledo, Holy Toledo, as our stream save, and that will be back on schedule as of next week. I am looking to return to Mondays and Thursdays for that, along with potential extra streams. Grimes, what have you done there? Sorry, that's at the bottom there. Seri must take the blame for that. He missed the interception. Right, Seri is this one here. Doesn't even try. Davila, you're one of us. They've had 3 shots and scored. Well, they haven't even scored all 3 because we did one for them. We've had 4 clear-cut chances. Godoy, about to make it 5 clear-cut. No, he isn't, actually, because he has been tackled quite nicely there. I was kind of curious what had actually happened there for a second. It was a good tackle. Davila gets to that one first as well. Right, Davila. Was Davila here 2 years or just the 1? I can't remember now. We definitely had him. It was just the 1. Made 42 appearances, though, more than he did in any other loan spell. Grimes, despite scoring an own goal, is on a 9.0 because he did 2 assists. That's logic. I mean, Shell's on a 6.5. Simpara is not an upgrade. Right, so for the last whatever, we're going to do this. Because I want to maintain the Teco substitution if I need him in the midfield. Vidal's not been great. 6.6 from him. And in fact, Saxton on left back as well. We've got 3 strikers on. We're pulling a Tottenham right now. We have all 3 strikers on, 2 as inside forwards. I mean, that's gone well, and it's certainly not as a fault of either of those 2 lads, because neither of them are anywhere near involved in that defensively. You know what? I actually cannot remember the last time we scored an own goal. Oh, I mean, that was a cross. Oh, yes. That reminds me. I'll show you after this. Saxton with a long throw. He is... No, he isn't. I was about to say, he's better of those than Castillo is. And that might work in our favour, but no. Well, this has gone well. Chris Corello's gone through. Braxton has saved, though. He's done quite good. This one. They've had 5 shots, all on target. And 1 which we did for them. I'm not best pleased by what I've seen here. I mean, Seri's been blamed for the own goal somehow. Right, Teco's going to come on for a little bit. I feel like Seri's played basically every minute of every game so far, though. Liverpool have an awful amount of players coming forward from this for a cautious mentality. Well, Shaw's tried to take out Marco Aurelio there, and Don. Saxton, perfect slide tackle, apparently. Godoy has decided to go all the way back into his own box for some reason instead of actually launching a counter-attack. And now they have all other players back now. Silva, Cantoro, though, we've managed to cut them open a little bit here. Right, that was rubbish. Well, I'm going to get aggressive with them for throwing that one away. That was a straight-up bottle. First draw of the year, though. I genuinely cannot remember the last time we scored an own goal, and I have no idea how you'd find out. Yeah, that shot from Liverpool has reminded me of the first goal against Southampton. I did intend to actually open with this, but now I've remembered. The Carpentier goal here. The question is this a shot or is this a cross? Because I actually think he meant that. The text said he was trying to find Godoy, but it was about 4 yards above Godoy's head as it passed him. I'm just going to slow it down a little bit. Godoy's in the middle, obviously, here. Look how far above him he is. Even Cristiano Ronaldo wouldn't have reached that. I think he was intentional. But it is actually worth just highlighting the fact that Godoy has got 7 goals so far. He's played 11, scored 7. Certainly a better return rate than Silva provided. Just raiding Brighton of all their staff. Don't mind me. God bless Teco, man. I think this is his original contract. Joined when he was 18, of course, on a 5-year contract. I've loaned in a player on 165 grand a week, and he's sat there on 20. And that is apparently my best player. I don't even use him. Mind you, I haven't used the 165 grand a week man either. That much. It's not really weak in Tottenham. He says that they just lost 3-0. Man United continue though. But yeah, top 4 solidification is what I'm aiming for, because let's not forget the first year of the Champions League was us winning the Europa League. It wasn't on league form. Our entry into that last time. Of course, it does mean our 2 entries in the Champions League have been as first seeds both times, despite the fact our coefficient is nowhere near that much. Yeah, we have been the worst first seed both years, although it has improved this year quite a lot. So if we can have a good Champions League campaign, if we can have a good league campaign and get that coefficient up again, we might not actually be low down on the seed list next time round. Arsenal get one over on Chelsea, who haven't actually been as better as I thought they would be this year. That's not a sentence. Considering the people they brought in, I thought they'd do a lot better, but they've already lost 4 times, although in fairness, I've just seen the teams they've lost to. Newcastle though, good job. James Clark is comparing Gabriel Godoy with Ethan Walker. Bold. Yeah, he's not had quite the glittering career, has he? Since he did quite well for us in the first year. Or second for us, but his first year with us. And his only year with us, actually. We never had him back, did we? Are you enjoying Scotland, James? Oh, he's moved. Still in Scotland, though. That drew me in for a second there. It's none of the Dembélés that we know. There's a 4th one, apparently. Good luck with that one, Jurgen. Ivan's not for sale. Like, you've taken Dutra off me, Jurgen. That's as much as you're getting. Not gonna lie, my in-game relationship with Jurgen Klopp was part of the reason why I actually agreed to do that as well as the reasons I outlined when trying to justify it in my transfer episode. So for what is probably the most win fixture in our group stage, the home game against Bayer Leverkusen, we do actually get to go entirely full strength apart from Bradley Saxton, who is still maximum 75 minutes, so I'm just gonna not really risk him considering Castillo is basically the same. Also, after Courage's mistake last time out, Rick steps in. So it's going to be Baxter, Castillo, Zata, and Rick, Shaw, Vidal, Seri, Carpentier, Laidlaw also steps in for a fairly average Victor Vidal this year. Cantoro and Godoy complete the lineup. So their formation is defensive. One of Hertha Berlin's youngsters come through there. I recognise that one. Oh, Victor Schott. It's a day of being reunited with former Liverpool ownees. That's what it is. And with Bella Kotchap in the back line, along with an injured Newball who is unavailable clearly, Bayer Leverkusen also have 2 of the players I signed for Southampton. They also have a Lawanzino, which is very confusing because it's not obviously the same as the Roma goalkeeper with exactly the same name. The fact there's 2 of them and they're both quite good. It does get confusing when you're scouting them. So as this game gets underway, I just want to say thank you for following through with me all the way through to what is nearly 150 episodes of York. We're getting very much to the business end of this series, and I just want to say thank you for following all the way through. I know there's people watching through and do get the odd comment on older videos, and every now and then we just get a massive view spike as someone's consumed multiple episodes in a day. For people to do that, A, you're mad, and B, thank you. But obviously, recently I've moved locations. I'll be honest, I did it mostly because I was I was under the impression it might help fix the sound issues. All it did was change my sound issues. But, hang on, just wait for Castillo here. I'm hoping things gradually are sort of sounding a little bit better, almost episode by episode. I'm just learning as I go. Also, today is the first episode with my new seating apparatus, let's call it. Chair is just the easier name to call it, I suppose. Schlauder is coming through here though, which is a little bit higher up. It's a little bit more comfortable. And really, the thing that's allowed me to get a little bit closer, let's say, to the microphone, which I'm hoping is going to help me out here is, I've done DIY on my desk. This was a desk I inherited, and I have zero understanding of why it's built the way it was. Oh, Seri's just been injured. Xiaonan, Carpentier. Oh, Carpentier scored with a header by the looks of things. It's a vital 1-0 as we approach half time. This one's actually rattled away. Seri, I think, actually just injures himself right here almost. I think the highlighters preloaded his injury into that, but I think he injured himself literally when he did that ball. Yeah, because he's just taken the knock at the end of the highlight. It's a bruised shin. I think he shinned the ball. All right, let's blow this lot back, shall we? Seri, I might just preserve Seri, actually. I know it's a bruised shin, but I didn't have a good game last time out, and Cantoro is actually having a bad one this time. So we do have James Grimes, so we don't need to sort of worry too much there. I'll keep an eye on the Cantoro situation. Yeah, this desk got 2 problems. One, it's got a base, so you can't really put your feet on the floor on it. You have to put your feet in the base. And B, it had a ledge in the back of it, which just blocked pushing the computer to the back of the desk. Great block there, speaking of blocks. So I finally got fed up with that and utilised a bread knife and a hammer. That ledge is now being removed. The actual PC tower is more appropriately located within the desk, and now I can actually move myself towards the desk a lot better, therefore closer to the sound device. Microphone. I do know words, and this is 1-0 still. Godoy's not had a scintillator. Just take him straight off, I think, and I won't get Pulisic's on. We'll just do straight off this one. We won't do anything fancy. So I'm hoping that, along with a little bit more sort of technical knowledge of stuff, is shining through. I know it's a little bit of behind the curtain shop talk here, but really not anything else happening in the match. Let's be brutally honest here. So you might as well learn my actual process as Silla. Oh god, I recognise that name. Did we have him on loan at one point? Did I have him for Bradford? Because that might actually be a massive blast from the past if it is. Silva has a chance. Silva got booked somehow. He's been on the pitch 5 minutes. So we've only managed to put one past Bayer Leverkusen's backup goalkeeper. I mean, we'll take 3 points, because it's 9 from 9 then. Realistically, Shakhtar Benavarchi, we should be destroying both home and away. So I don't think qualification is going to be a massive issue. And at this point in time, we are probably overall a better team than Bayer Leverkusen, as demonstrated here. Musa Silla. Yeah, I've not had him on this. Right, he's a new gen. I think I have just, at some point, recognised his existence. Possibly when he came through originally, when he was at Marseille. He's not scouted right now, but I'm guessing he has been at some point. Although he's clearly not on my shortlist, so maybe there's a real person with a similar name. I'm just going to tell you it's a good win. I am slightly disappointed, but it is a good win. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to bring you back for Leicester and Arsenal. It's a little bit ways down the road, but there's not really a lot interesting between then and here. Obviously, the Man United, Chelsea, Tottenham triple is not long after that. And I may not actually bring you all of those matches. I don't know whether or not if I should just focus on those matches this year, both times, or if I should keep spreading things out in terms of the opponent-wise. If you have an opinion on that, let me know. But Leicester and Arsenal will be next time out. 2 reasonably decent sides. And if you have a preference of which 2 of these 3 you want me to focus on next time out, after that, Man United, Chelsea, Tottenham, obviously I'll do 2 of the 3, let me know. Just bear in mind that Chelsea and Man United are a double-hander later in the season as well, and Tottenham attach themselves to Liverpool. So all 4 of those will be featured in the later half of this season, so whichever one you don't want me to do, let me know. Until next time, ta-ra.